just happens to be the sponsor of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show. It's good stuff. Check them out in Foster Creek Village, aka the Old Mall in Tupelo. They provided pizza not only for us, but for the entire team here at Amory. That's where we're at this week for week 10 of the high school football preview show. This is Alan Glenn, head coach of Amory, me, Dalton. Thanks for joining us. Going to spend the next few minutes talking about some big games coming up this week after I take a bite. Who's there? Thanks again to Pizza Doctor. How you doing, Alan?
Doing good.
Man, he's
That honestly was not quite on our radar early on. He's just going to be he is just a freshman. Didn't really expect to have him, show what he has shown so far. We had a kid get injured in the summer, and in the Itawamba game, Charleston kind of came along and showed a little spark, and he's continued to do that. So just really, really impressed with him, the work ethic he has. Hopefully he can continue to do that.
And y'all really have a pretty good balance there, running pass. Of course, got Hunter Jones, the quarterback, takes excellent care of the ball. Got some good, Boonville coming off a tough loss to Kossuth last week, a bit of an upset, I think. But still, they're in the hunt for the division title in 1-3A with just one loss. So y'all are undefeated. And so obviously a huge game as far as that goes. And, even though they lost that game, Alan, I mean, they've got some weapons especially on offense.
No question. Boonville's a really good football team. They're very well coached. Have the utmost respect for Coach Maddox and his staff. They do an exceptional job. That was a rivalry game kind of last week with Kossuth, and obviously.
I saw him earlier. He had 2 interceptions against Tupelo, and Hunter Jones doesn't throw the ball, doesn't turn the ball over a lot. But last week y'all had a few turnover issues. How do you kind of correct that?
Yeah, he underthrew a post ball on his interception last week. He needed to go ahead and let that thing fly a little bit. He did turn it over, but we had a couple of fumbles. We turned it over last week, which is a little uncharacteristic of who we've been. You can't do that in big football games.
At Olive Branch, big battle there in 2-6A Dalton. Both teams 4-0 in division. Oxford has looked really, really good this year. And Olive Branch has looked pretty good as well. And it's Olive Branch. But this one being up there at Olive Branch, I don't know, talk about home field, but I really like what Oxford's done. I'll say the Chargers take this from Dalton. I'll say 21-20.
I got you. I think the Oxford's going to win as well.
Yeah, low scoring is what I would predict. Game number 2, Pontotoc at Itawamba AHS. The 2-4A title is on the line. Pontotoc just basically fell flat on its face coming out of the gate, Dalton, but they've won, 3 in a row now? They've won all their division games. And Itawamba also 3-0 division, so basically the winner of this game should have the number 1 seed for the playoffs. Pontotoc obviously playing better, but Itawamba just got so many weapons with Ike Chandler and Davion Sistrunk. So I'm going to go with Itawamba in this one, Dalton. I'll say 30.
One with 35-28.
A little close one. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be closer. I think Pontotoc, like you mentioned, they won 4 straight, and they're playing really well right now.
Yeah, that's true.
And they keep it close. They just don't have they don't have the same manpower Itawamba does.
Yeah, I think you're right. Game number 3, Tupelo Christian at Smithville. This game's staying on Friday. Playoff implications for this one. If Smithville loses, Dalton, now they're both 3-2 in division, but if Smithville loses, Michael Campbell, the coach, thinks it's pretty much puts them out of the playoff line. Now, if TCPS loses, he thinks I believe they can still get in if they beat West.
That hasn't played in a while yet.
And yeah, and there's that. Yeah, I think
it's a must-win for both teams, basically.
Pretty much, yeah, must-win for both teams. They're playing this one Friday. And it's probably going to rain, which Michael Campbell likes, because he told me earlier, that hopefully they'll slow down the TCPS offense. They like to throw the ball a good bit. But I don't know, man. I still think the Eagles find a way to pull this one out. I'll say 29-20 TCPS.
I'm going to go TCPS as well. I think I've seen Smithville twice this year, and both times just the other team just had a couple more athletes that made bigger plays. And I think TCPS is going to win 34-22.
Okay. Starkville Academy at Jackson Academy. Curveball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't expect me to throw that one out there, did you?
Well, I read the email.
That's true. I did send you the email. So, I didn't do much research on these teams. They're both pretty good. Jackson Academy is always good. Starkville Academy is having a good year. I think Starkville Academy is 5A MAIS, and Jackson Academy 6A.
Something like that.
Something like that. So honestly, I have no idea who's going to win. So I'll just go with the home team, Jackson Academy. 28-24.
I'll on Jackson Academy as well. I tried to look up a little bit of research on these teams. 20.
Now for the game of the week, it's Boonville at Amory. Hey, that's what y'all picked. Boonville 6-2, 2-1 in division. Amory 7-2, 3-0 Thursday night. 3 keys to the game. Here we go. Key number 1. For Amory, containing Davian Price, the Boonville athlete, as we mentioned, can score from all over the field. He's got 21 total touchdowns this year. He's just one of the best athletes in the area. And so it's going to be a big point of emphasis for the Amory defense. Key number 2 for Boonville, they need to try to make Amory one-dimensional. I mentioned the balanced offense. Amory averaging 175 yards passing per game, 200 Glenn Allen instead of Allen Glenn because of Glenn Allen Hill, who played in the majors in the 80s and 90s. Blue Jays and several others.
Showing your age.
I am, showing my age. Yeah, I actually saw him play like his first or second year of the league in person. That's how old I am. So, yeah, I always want to call you Glenn Allen. So if I ever do.
Yeah. Look, I get that a lot. Honestly, I really do. I get Glenn Allen. I think more than I get Allen Glenn. So,
Okay, time for predictions, Dalton. This is a tough one. I'll let you go first.
All right. First I'm going to talk about it a little bit. I've seen Boonville once, and then I've also seen a couple scores. I saw them against Tupelo, and Tupelo had a lot of success running the ball against them.
Yep.
And then New Albany scored, 42 points on them. State scored 44. That defense, you can have success on that defense. And so I'm going to go with Amory in this one. I think I'm going to go 42-36 Amory. Boonville, I think David Price can get free once or twice, but
I'll go with Boonville in this one. I think it will be kind of a high-scoring game, Dalton. I will go with 38-35 Blue Devils.
Okay.
No offense.
Who's your favorite now?
none taken.
So that's your game of the week, and now we move on to the Broughton Award, the best 1-2 punch from last week. Brad, Dalton, Broughton. There you go. This week we got a little offense-defense action here. D.T. Sheffield and Elgin Harris of Corinth. Last week in a 56-20 win over New Albany. D.T. Sheffield, the quarterback, completed 7 of 8 passes for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Harris, he plays defensive line. He had quite the stat line: 8 tackles, 3.5 sacks, and he forced a fumble as well. So big games by both of those guys and a big division win at New Albany. And that is it for this episode of the DJ Preps Football Preview Show. Thank you all for tuning in. We come to you every Wednesday. Also every Wednesday, you can catch the Prep Rally podcast with Dalton and myself. Find it on iTunes, any of your podcast apps, or online at preprally.djournal.com. We're on Twitter at djournalpreps. Be sure to look for our